Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about how I believe the zodiac sign Capricorn can be manipulated. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the sun, moon, and ascendant. Anyway, people, first thing I want to clear with you is that basically what this video is about, it's not so much as to really tell people how to manipulate various zodiac signs, but it's basically what it is these zodiac signs in question in the videos I'm doing about them is that for them to have an idea and conception of what others may try to do in an attempt to manipulate them, to be cognizant of what to look for. So anyway, well, first off, I think Capricorn can be manipulated with things tied into their very strong, ambitious nature. They may be enticed or swayed with some kind of a position that may increase their stature in life, a high-ranking position, some position of authority. Capricorn is known to be very skeptical, cynical, and very cautious and prudent. They often won't just be swayed just by this alone. But the thing about it is they have a little greater propensity to be manipulated by something like this than most, because they do like to have that authority and have that very strong stature in life often. Now, as a child, Capricorn may be manipulated by relinquishing perhaps their own authority, so to speak, over such websites, and it could be where a parent changes the parental controls on them. It could even be, for example, taking a bicycle away. We figure, well, why is you may ask me why a bicycle? Well, because of the connection, for one thing, with as far as Capricorn, as far as the knees go. I think riding a bicycle can be something that Capricorn can enjoy more, perhaps, than many of the other zodiac signs on average, because of that. It has something to do, I do believe, with the connection with their knees. And the thing about Capricorn as well, it could be taking I mean, Capricorn can often be involved in, when they're in school, especially like high school, like a political or club or some kind of business group. I had a friend of mine that has his son in Capricorn that was in some group called DECA, and it was some kind of business-related group. And sometimes, I mean, could be a parent saying, well, I'm going to deprive you of going into that club or that group or what have you if you don't get your grades up, as an example. And that could motivate or manipulate Capricorn into getting better grades, as an example. It could be by taking away Capricorn's things that are connected with planning. Capricorn, I think, is arguably the most premeditative of all the zodiac signs, and they often may have things that are associated with planning. I mean, calendars, which a lot of people have anyway, but maybe even day planners, something that has to do with them making their plans and their premeditation, things connected with that. It could be as a child, could be business games, the threat of them being taken away, such as Monopoly or Big Business. Now, let's say the thing about it is, let's say if Capricorn is in a position of authority, the threat of that being relinquished to some degree may get Capricorn to do what he or she wants for them, more so than most signs on average, because that is something I think that can put the zodiac sign Capricorn in a very strong state of fright and trepidation. Now, another thing about Capricorn we have to understand is that Capricorn often likes things very regimented and consistent. They're often, I mean, they generally don't like things in their schedule being deviated and things being uncertain. The thing about it is that if somebody's trying to get Capricorn to leave their position or quit, something that someone might try to do to Capricorn could be making things on their place of work more unpredictable and spontaneous. And the thing about it is, I mean, don't get me wrong, Capricorn can often be actually good at versatility and variety at their workplace, because the zodiac sign Gemini often falls on their 6th house cusp in a solar or natal chart, but they still like to have things very consistent, even if it is some variety, for that to be basically the same thing at the same time every day, pretty much. So the thing about it is, if you keep changing things on Capricorn, or you make their schedule somewhat erratic and sporadic, you change their lunch breaks, you change the time they come in, the time they leave, that could be something that could get Capricorn to leave. So if you're Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Sun, somebody's doing this to you, they may have some idea, conception that you really like things more consistent, perhaps more so than the average employee, and this could be a tactic that some may use in order to get you to leave. Now, the thing about it is that I think too also a boss or superior that might be overly authoritative could get to Capricorn as well and exasperate Capricorn, because Capricorn, of course, is that sign associated with authority. And even though they could do well in a subordinate or subservient role, I think an overly overbearing or authoritative superior can get to Capricorn. And the thing about it is, understood to, I think when you look at Capricorn, they could be very melancholy and despondent. I mean, of course, they are ruled by Saturn. If somebody's very, I mean, really, it comes across, somebody very, say, they're very jocular or jovial and effervescent. Capricorn may be lured by this, because Capricorn, whether they realize it or not, I think a lot of times they may be swayed by somebody that is like that, because that's really like the antithesis of what they are often. Capricorn can have a caustic wit, they can have a certain sense of humor, but they're not known to be overly whimsical or jocular or capricious or what have you. And sometimes if somebody's just being too jocular or joking with them and really trying to appearing that they may be just trying to elevate Capricorn spirits, it might just be something in a way, just maybe to get them to loosen Capricorn up, so to speak, to get them to do something for them. Now, the thing about it is, another thing, a way Capricorn's, this often disconsolate nature might be exploited to some degree, is that somebody might sense that Capricorn is like this, and maybe even add insult to abject misery, so to speak. Tell them maybe something really depressing, or something that's very negative or pessimistic, or saying, somebody say it's a fellow employee, for example, saying, "Oh God, I don't think we're going to get any great benefits here. I don't know what's going to be going on. They're not going to offer any great retirement plan," or something to that effect. That could actually exacerbate Capricorn's negative, and mood at the time. I mean, that could be an example. Now, the thing about this too is that you look at Capricorn as well. Now, the thing about another thing with Capricorn, well, how he or she may be manipulated, sometimes just groveling to Capricorn, especially, I mean, if Capricorn is in a position of authority, which they often are. It could be a landlord position, or some just general management or head coach, or it could be a teacher, something where they could be at a high position. It could be, somebody politically. This is somebody, I mean, Capricorn, I mean, loves, I think, could be enamored with being reminded of what they are. If they're in a position of authority, they're higher over somebody, and trying to get Capricorn to do what you want. It could be where somebody might actually be doing everything but literally groveling to them and saying, "Please, imploring, can you please do this for me?" and making themselves at least appear inferior to Capricorn, and especially perhaps if the person is actually in a subordinate or subservient position. Servile behavior can often get Capricorn to do what you want for them, because it kind of lets them know in their own way, even if it's kind of a subtle way, that Capricorn is at a higher position than them, or at least that's how that person groveling is actually making Capricorn think. So Capricorn can be manipulated that way strongly, I believe. Now, the thing about this is Capricorn as well, Another thing that I want to, another thing that could be a possibility is that somebody could do something very buttery to Capricorn. If they're in a position of authority and they're in a management position, somebody could say something to Capricorn like, well, your management, your very strong, robust management skills are required. You have all these credentials. Whether you're proficient in whatever in doing something on at this job in terms of leading us, we need this, and those kind of things can get or something connected with their career, whether it's proficient in some word, perfect, or what have you. It could even, that doesn't necessarily have to be connected with the management position or having leadership skills. It could just be something that somebody is trying to get Capricorn to do something based on complimenting them in connection with that particular field of expertise he or she may be in. Hold on a minute, people. Sorry about that, I'm back again. Now, anyway, well, another thing about Capricorn too is that if you understand about Capricorn, I mean, of course, they're an earth sign, very self-protective, and Capricorn, perhaps over even Virgo and Taurus, could be very strongly about having their own interests take precedence over others. So what happens as a result is they could come across as rather cold, callous, undemonstrative, very uncaring, which is not often the case, but because they're so focused on their own interests and things often of a career or business related matters, moving up that ladder, reaching that pinnacle of success or what have you, they might come across as cold and because they feel, but so what happens is they at times may detach themselves from people they know, even their close friendships from time to time. What sometimes somebody may do to Capricorn in terms of, I say, an odd reciprocation, they may do the same thing to Capricorn to get Capricorn to say, hey, inquire, what's going on? I haven't heard from you in a while. And give them a taste of their own medicine, so to speak. So if you're a Capricorn, someone's doing this to you, they may be doing this because maybe they feel that you're doing this to them, and they're kind of giving you that the taste of your own medicine, so to speak, figuratively speaking. Now, well, it's also important to look at the zodiac. The side as far as where Scorpio falls on the house cusp that Scorpio falls on in a solar or natal chart, as this could be the area where one may be most susceptible and vulnerable to manipulation. And in a solar natal chart, the zodiac sign Scorpio often falls on the 11th house cusp for Capricorn. Capricorn oddly may be manipulated easily by their friends more than some, and even despite again being a very cynical, skeptical, and very cautious sign, this could be attributed to the fact that Capricorn may not often have a surfeit or abundance of friends because of that skeptical and cynical nature. They have a difficult time trusting others. And the thing about it is, because their few friends that they may have often are ones that they really entrusted with a lot of information, they can be, they really can be ones that would never suspect that a close friend would actually do something to try to manipulate me. So that could set them up for that kind of betrayal or manipulation or what have you. They consider those friends often very exceptionally trustworthy, and that's where Capricorn might let their guard down. Also, will manipulation perhaps connected with social media? I see the 11th house as could be connected with that social media. I mean, I see this like the internet. It's the house of Aquarius. And you might have sometimes what happens is, and well, you're thinking, well, what does that have to do? What does social media have to do with manipulation with Capricorn? Well, the thing about it is Capricorn, again, we're going back to the very overambitious nature of the sign. On social media, I know on Facebook at least has this where you can like promote your, if you have a Facebook page connected with your business, you could promote it. Capricorn might be so overambitious sometimes and say, well, I'm going to promote this page, and might not look at all the fine print, and wind up paying paying a good amount of money for something to get their business page promoted, and what happens is they don't maybe get the exposure that they anticipated in that bang for that their buck, so to speak, that they really wanted. I'm just saying that as an example. Now, another thing is also that the 11th house also is connected with the future. Now, someone prominent, say in Capricorn's career, may give Capricorn a false sense of security, and that your future is going to be awesome with us. We got all kinds of retirement 401k plans and this and that. And Capricorn, maybe at times the guard may be let down again, and might be, well, Capricorn didn't research this extensively and verify that this company would actually do that for him or her. And that is a way I think Capricorn can get duped. Now, another thing could be, this is something, I mean, and again, the 11th house can be connected with organizations as well. So anyway, Pisces, and I'll look up, as far as, it's important to look at the house cusp that Pisces falls on in a solar or natal chart, as this could be the area or sector in life where one may be most susceptible to deception and duplicity. Now, for Capricorn, a Pisces often falls on the third house cusp in a solar or natal chart for Capricorn. Now, the third house rules early education. So I think it could have something to do really with perhaps with people that may have been prominent in Capricorn's early education. This could represent former teachers even in school, and also children that classmates that Capricorn had gone to school with. Capricorn would not suspect anything from a former teacher, I think, because a teacher can be connected with authority, and Capricorn is often about working within the rules, the parameters, and they are the sign associated with authority. And also the children, the classmates Capricorn had gone to school with, they may think, well, I've known these people for so long, you know, they're from way back when. How would they try to deceive me at all, or show anything, or be duplicitous? So those are reasons I think that they could be caught off guard as far as those people go. Now, and the thing about Capricorn is that, again, in third house is also connected with short journeys. Well, if you wonder, well, what does that have to do with being deceived? And the thing about this is, I look at it like this. Well, Capricorn, even though it's a sign you look at, is really not, overly compassionate or overly sensitive or sympathetic or what have you. I think there's some reason they could actually show this in connection with short journeys. I had a friend of mine, Capricorn sun in Capricorn, and he seemed like he was always, many times ready to give me a ride to the store or something. I think a lot of it has to do maybe with the fact that Capricorn is the sign connected with restriction and limitation. Many people that have certain restrictions and limitations may be connected with mobility issues, with not being able to go to a store really without some difficulty. People that have to go on a bus. And I think, you see a lot of this self-sacrificing energy with Capricorn as far as that goes. So what happens is Capricorn sometimes might be maybe showing too much compassion and self-sacrificing energy in this area, and others may take advantage of that as far as Capricorn goes. So that is basically, and they can capitalize on this and try to keep asking Capricorn, well, can you take me out to this place? Someone might say, well, I just need to go to this store. And then after that's completed, say, hey, can you take me to this other place? So those are some things to look at as far as the zodiac sign Capricorn, how he or she may be manipulated. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment and how I believe the zodiac sign Capricorn can be manipulated. Stay tuned next time, where I'll be talking about how I believe the zodiac sign Aquarius can be manipulated. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person astrologically speaking based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.